much to believe so.
So we're here in Sherman, Texas.
Yeah, great.
You have this groundbreaking for a factory.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. What is the difference between the AI people are dealing with now versus the AI that's coming in the future that you're seeing that this factory is going to make possible?
It'll be smarter, safer, better guardrail. It'll be grounded on more truth. It'll be able to do more things, be more helpful.
When you say grounded in more truth,
Yeah.
what's that mean?
Less guessing and more research. Less
Yeah.
guessing and more research. Just
Because
as even this year's AI has done a much better job being grounded in truth, because it can even use the internet, do some search. It brings back some information, 2 or 3 different versions of the information. It might evaluate the information based on based on an evaluator to see which one is more likely to be truthful. Yeah.
And do you see AI is really driving the manufacturing revival in the U.S.?
No question about it. We're reinventing the computer for the first time in 63 years. This is just an extraordinary thing. Since the invention of the IBM System 360 in 1964, we're now reinventing the computer. You no longer have to code and no longer records information in advance, pre-recording information. It's able to now solve problems in real time. And so the way that the computer has to be built is radically different. We've now built about 60 years with the computer infrastructure, the internet, and all the computers that we know. We're now in the process of reinventing all of that, which is the reason why over the course of the next 10 years, we're going to be building tens of trillions of dollars of new computers to replace the old computers that we built over the last 60 years.
And that's the root of the CapEx.
That's the root of the CapEx. As a result, we can use this incredible new investment to reindustrialize the United States, which is the reason why we're building new chip plants. This is a new chip plant that produces lasers that allows us to take a chip that processes electricity, convert it to optics or light, send the light down optics, convert it back to electricity for another chip. So now we can connect chips that are literally separated by hundreds, thousands of feet, and let those two chips be connected and work together. Incredible.
All right. Energy, chips, infrastructure, models, applications.
Yeah.
And your 5 layers of AI.
Yeah.
Where is the U.S. strong, and where is it?
Oh, excellent. I really appreciate that. First of all, people think that AI is this model, and it is. That's one of the very important parts of the AI. Just as the computer industry is not just Excel or Word, just the application. It consists of all of the infrastructure that supports it. The 5-layer cake that you mentioned. The United States is woefully behind in energy production, which is one of the great things that President Trump has really advocated to regrow, I guess, to generate the energy industry and to be a pro-energy growth industry again. Because without energy, that entire infrastructure on top cannot be created and produced. And so the first thing is to make sure that we are a pro-energy growth country again. For chips, infrastructure, and AI models, we are absolutely world class. And then the layer above, the applications. This is applications used for radiology, for healthcare, applications for manufacturing, robotic systems, all of the different applications for the various industries. The top layer, the bottom layer, the top layer, I would argue that we are probably not world class. Now the reason for that is because on the lowest layer, we've just suffocated energy production for too long. At the highest level, we have to be careful because we're increasingly describing AI in a way that causes communities and population to be somewhat concerned about it. I think that one, the technology is very powerful, so we have to build it with safety and security, and we have to build it with responsibility. We have to make sure that the regulations support it. But after that, once we do that, we need to make sure that the United States takes advantage of this new industrial revolution, just as we took advantage of the last industrial revolution. As you know, 300 years ago, the production of energy was invented in Europe, but somehow the United States took advantage of it. We industrialized it. We applied it. Companies like GE and all the appliances, and we celebrated the industrialization of our economy. With the internet, we did the same thing. With the computers, we did the same thing. We have to be very careful that artificial intelligence, this new next generation of technology revolution, that we're also enthusiastic about adopting and make sure that we don't get left behind.
Do you think the issue with AI is the technology itself that concerns people, or the absence of social structures to adapt to something happening so fast?
It's a combination of all that. When automobiles came, we needed to create new social norms. Back in the old days, you probably remember that cars...
I'm not that old.
Okay, well, back in the old days, people said that cars kill children. What is it about cars that would hunt down a child to kill them? Well, the reason for that was because in the when kids were growing up, they used to play in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, I used to play in the streets. When cars came along, you obviously can't play in the streets. We now no longer have kids playing in the streets. We don't tell kids not to go play in the streets. And we have sidewalks, we have crosswalks, we have jaywalking is discouraged. And so all of that combination of social norms, regulations, safer cars, seat belts, and all the technology that comes along with it. It's all of it at the same time. So I think you have to deal with regulation, technology, you have to deal with social norms.
What is the social norm that you think would make people feel the most comfortable?
Well, the first thing is that I would advocate that everybody use AI. Just go engage it. There's the free tier of AI. AI is the greatest technology. Has closed the technology divide more so than any technology in history. And the reason for that is because it's accessible. It's on the internet, and it's also free to use. There's a free tier, and it's easy to use. Unlike a microwave, you have to read the manual. Unlike a computer, you have to go to school and learn how to program it. With AI, if you don't know how to use AI, just walk up to AI and say, I don't know how to use AI, how do I use AI? And the AI is going to say, what would you like to do? It could be that you would like to write a program, create a website for your shop. Maybe you'd like to create a small program to help you manage your books. Maybe you'd like to do some research to learn something about a new topic, help you with a new school project that you're having a hard time with. So whatever it happens to be, if you have a hard time using it, just go up and ask it. If you're a carpenter, you want to become a designer, help somebody be a creator of kitchens before you go and help somebody build it. AI could help you generate a lot of interesting designs. And so I think it could elevate your capability. What I would advocate for everybody to do is just go try it before you judge.
So in the past few days, we've seen some major challenges in AI, right? We saw the government put export controls on Nvidia. What do you make of that? Are export controls a good tool to use to have models get pulled back?
Well, the U.S. government has to be concerned about national security, and national security is a foremost top issue. And export control is a powerful tool that if used precisely and specifically, could be quite effective. Beyond that, you just got to be careful not to over-exercise export control so that it doesn't create unintended consequences to a lot of other things that we don't intend it to do. And so, aside from that, I'm not in their conversation, but you can understand that the United States is quite concerned about national security.
And do you see national security as a major concern?
National security should always be the top concern of all technologies. But having said that, you have to be very specific about the risk that you're concerned about before setting up policies for export controls.
And what about this idea that's been floated about government's own stake in AI companies, that they would own shares or something to that extent? Do you think that government ownership of the AI modeling companies is a good idea for the technology?
I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to achieve. I haven't had a dialogue with them about that. But just remember that these are American companies. Their success benefits the stock price, of which many Americans are investors in. It generates taxes, of which helps many Americans. It creates a lot of jobs. And the AI companies is just one of the 5 layers. And so if they're successful, imagine all of the 5 layers and the jobs that are created across the board. And so I think that America has a stake in all American companies. when we succeed, we create a whole bunch of jobs, we generate a whole bunch of tax revenues. When we export around the world, we obviously bring back an enormous amount of revenues, create a lot of jobs locally, and so on and so forth. And so I think America has a stake. Americans have a stake in American companies already naturally in a whole lot of different ways. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to achieve beyond that.
So President Trump likes you, right? Let's just cut to the chase. He's called you amazing, smart, he's called you a friend. But he's also said, before he first met you, he was thinking that Nvidia was so dominant that he should break you up. I'm curious, how did you prep for your first meeting with him in January 2025? And what did you say to him that made him go, aha?
Let's see, what happened? I happened to be in Florida to receive the Edison Award, and he heard that I happened to be in Florida, invited me over for dinner, and
In Mar-a-Lago?
yeah, that's literally how it happened. He just happened to hear that I was in town. He says, "Drop by for dinner," and so I did. Lori and I dropped by for dinner. He was a incredibly engaging, incredibly charismatic, conversational, asked a lot of questions. From the moment that I met him, the only thing that he's ever talked to me about was creating more jobs, reindustrializing the United States, protecting national security, winning. He wants America to be wealthy. He knows that if America is wealthy, we have a lot of tax revenues. We can fund the military, we can fund our economy, we can fund our communities, create more jobs. Literally, that entire conversation I just went through is just every single time is some version of that. And he's, as far as I could tell, all he does is work. He calls me in the middle of the night and wants to talk about one of these topics.
And is it literally that he sees the country as dependent on Nvidia's success? Or what does he say to that
no,
makes him go?
He wants all American companies to succeed, and he's helped a whole lot of companies. And he was delighted that we invested in Intel. He's delighted that we're investing in Coherent. He's incredibly happy that we are manufacturing in the United States. We're going to spend about $500 billion building in America. The chip plant in TSMC's chip plant in Arizona, Wistron, Foxconn. I mean, the number of companies that we've inspired from Taiwan to partner with us to build factories here. He's incredibly happy about that. And he knows that none of that is possible if the companies aren't growing. And so the thing that he understands very clearly is when a company is successful, when a market is successful, the industry is successful, you can use that momentum to fund the reindustrialization, creating more jobs here in the United States. And he sees that opportunity very clearly. The thing that is completely transformational in my conversations with him, recognizing early on two things. One, he is obsessed about making sure that we reindustrialize the United States. It brings back manufacturing jobs. We want makers and builders here in America again, not just information workers, but he wants builders and makers. His views on energy is spot on. We can't grow a new economy. We can't grow our industry without energy. It fundamentally takes energy to grow. And he understands that we're woefully behind. And so he's impatient about making sure we have more energy so that we could create all these plants and all these jobs. And so I think he was so clear and so determined on those topics, on those areas, and it connects with the work that I do here at Nvidia and the work that we do with Coherent and really clearly. And so we've been able to fully align on those agendas.
Now, there is also a delicate aspect of that relationship. You probably saw what Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts said. She wanted you to testify before her committee, and then said you can go to Mar-a-Lago, but not before my committee. And I'm curious, does the fact that Trump likes you create any risks with Democrats who might have the majority in the House and Senate in 2027? How do you balance that?
Very, very simply, President Trump is our president. He's my president. And I believe that every Americans should want our president to succeed. We could differ with politics, but we should want him to succeed. Because when President Trump succeeds, our country succeeds. Whoever's the next president, whatever their political party, I will want that president to succeed. And so I want Elizabeth, Senator Warren to succeed. I want all of our senators to succeed. I want the United States to succeed. And so if I could be helpful in any way to help President Trump help realize his agenda so that our country could succeed, I'm all for it.
I'm curious for how you think about the opportunity in China. China has boxed out a lot of foreign competitors. What gives you confidence that China would be willing to accept a U.S.-made AI ecosystem?
Well, we were in China for 30 years, and before the export control banned Nvidia out of China, we had about 95% market share, and so we were competing just fine. American technology companies are incredible. I travel the world, and I can tell you that we, as Americans, we can be very proud of the technology companies that I'm part of. The capabilities of this country are extraordinary, and we have every reason to be proud, and we have every reason to be confident. We've been competing in China for a long time, and we're doing just fine. There's only, now of course, whatever the decisions were that banned us from shipping to China, that decision is made, and so be it. However, President Trump would like us to take our last generation products and continue to compete around the world. And the reason for that is this. It is a false choice to have, we can have national security, that is absolutely foremost. We want our technology industry to succeed around the world. And in order to do that, you have to compete. You could have national security, you have technology leadership, and you could have economic prosperity all at the same time. Our country has been doing that for a long time. And so it is important that we recognize that China is a very large market. And if we cede that market, the competitors there will just become giants. And ultimately, that leadership, that capability of theirs will scale outside of China that we'll have to deal with later. And so I think that the recognition that we have to have, number one, make sure that we have national security and that we protect our nation, but we also simultaneously should go and compete and grow our technology industry and maximize our exports. We're trying to maximize exports. We're trying to improve our trade imbalance. And so it makes sense that we continue to export, continue to compete around the world, and to protect our national security, protect our technology leadership, and grow our economic prosperity. We could do all of that at the same time.
Now, one of the things we've also seen since the start of the year is the U.S. is getting more goods imports from Taiwan than it is directly from China. That's a change that you've helped spark. What role does that mean Taiwan has in relations with the U.S. going forward? Is that stitching even tighter now?
Well, Taiwan is the epicenter of the world's technology ecosystem. Taiwan makes the world's best chips. They make the most of it. The ecosystem around them, including all of the necessary parts of the supply chain, is all fully integrated on the island. It is the case that Taiwan also is an incredible strategic partner for the United States. If not for Taiwan's company and Taiwan's support to stand up manufacturing here in the United States, we wouldn't have all the fabs in Arizona, we wouldn't have the factories from Foxconn, we wouldn't have the fabs or the factories from Wistron. All of those factories and plants are necessary. They're bringing their skills, they're bringing their labor, they're bringing their experts to help us stand up manufacturing here in the United States. So they're on the one hand an epicenter and a critical part of our supply chain. On the other hand, they're also a strategic partner to help us diversify and create more resilience of our supply chain. And so Taiwan plays both parts in a really important part.
And do you see that as intensifying even more as this gets built out?
Well, surely the onshore manufacturing is intensifying. We're manufacturing just the number of fabs that are being created here. In the last couple, 2-3 years, I think we've created some 600,000 jobs in AI. And most of those jobs are, of course, in manufacturing and plants, and they're in electricians and construction workers and designers and technicians and so on and so forth. I think that that's going to continue to intensify over the next decade. Because I think we are seeing the renaissance of manufacturing here in the United States, and it's going to be renaissance in manufacturing of some of the highest end labor jobs. And so I'm quite excited about that.
It does seem, when I look at your history, that not everyone has your same appetite for risk. And I'm curious about that because so many people coming in this moment, right? And you know this because you get asked about it constantly. But like my Uber driver said, like, I think I should just have gone back and farmed. What would you say to people who are really concerned that might get a chance to kind of like, don't get a chance to engage with you, and yet are truly worried because they see risks and don't have an appetite for it?
I think the first thing I would do is I would engage AI. I would just open up ChatGPT.
Yeah,
the first thing I would do, I would open up ChatGPT and go learn about what it is that this technology can do for them. However, with respect to the Uber driver, I just think it's incredible. That example is perfect. The Uber driver's job, Uber, was created out of the last industrial revolution, mobile cloud, the internet. The technologies that were created in the last 20, 30 years enabled Uber to exist. Without the internet, mobile, all of the data centers that were created to deal with all the automatic routing and all the recommendation systems, it's incredibly complicated computer science behind Uber. None of that would have been possible if, right? That Uber driver wouldn't be possible without all of that. And so what I would tell that Uber driver is just take a moment and observe your current condition and the opportunities that it's created. Well, this next one's just going to create new opportunity. You're not exactly sure what it is yet, but it's going to be new opportunities. And so I think that I have the benefit of watching, I'm not young, and I'm the longest running tech CEO in the world. I've been doing my job for a long time. I've been in technology since I was 20 years old. And so I have the benefit of watching our industry grow and society grow and jobs changing over the years, and technology tools that are created and new industries created, a whole bunch of startups created. I have the benefit of watching all of this happening in slow motion. I think we're going to see the same thing. I think that every single time that there was a new technology, when the personal computer came out, when the internet came out, when the iPhone came out, every single time these things happen, we all worry that it's going to leave us behind, but somehow it doesn't. It does change, and why wouldn't we want change? We should embrace change. I like society today better than the society you and I were just talking about in the movie that we were just both of us enjoying. Just
that movie is Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven, my favorite movie, and I like society today over that one. And so,
lastly, what do people get wrong about you? Right? They see you out. They know a lot about your eating habits, your fashion sense. What do they get wrong about you?
What do they get wrong about me? I am deeply boring. That's really what. I worry about my family. I care about my family. I worry about my job. I care about my company, and then I cycle between those two things. I'm doing one of those two things at all times. If I have the benefit of spending time with my family to watch Kingdom of Heaven, nothing gives me more joy. And recently we just I think we've watched it 3 or 4 times at Project Hail Mary. I think we might watch it again this weekend. And what an incredible movie, so optimistic, so inspiring. Nothing gives me more joy than hang out with my family, and that's all I do. Between those two things, that's all I do.
Awesome. Jensen, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We've been so excited about this event. We've been planning this event for a long time. We're so proud of this site and all of our employees here. So thank you for spending the afternoon with us here in Sherman. We really appreciate it. Before we begin, I just want to take the opportunity to recognize and thank some of the leaders and the partners that helped make today possible. First of all, Secretary Lutnick, Bill Fraunhofer, and the U.S. Department of Commerce for their support and leadership through the CHIPS program. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, Jensen Huang and our good friends at Nvidia. Thank you so much for the partnership. Many of you are here today. Thank you. Thank you. Governor Abbott, Adriana Cruz, and the great state of Texas. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to thank Mayor Tiemann, the Sherman Economic Development Corporation, and other members of the Sherman community that are joining us here today. Thank you for your support. That's been critical. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. And one last thank you. I have to thank my Coherent employees. The employees, our customers, our suppliers, our partners. Their dedication is outstanding. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. All right, so today's announcement is a result of, I think, a really powerful partnership between industry, government, and the local community. Together, these investments that we're making, including NVIDIA's strategic partnership investment in Coherent, support from the state of Texas and SEDCO, and today's announcement earlier this morning of the $50 million CHIPS award. All of these investments are strengthening America's ability to build critical AI infrastructure, expand domestic manufacturing capacity, and create jobs, and overall reinforce U.S. technology leadership. I think today marks a really important milestone, not just for Coherent, but for American manufacturing and for the future of AI infrastructure. I think we're actually at a remarkable moment in both technology and economic history. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries, it's transforming economies and societies at an unprecedented pace. But AI leadership will depend on more than just breakthrough computing. It will require infrastructure that connects, powers, and scales those systems. That's why today's announcement is more than just about expanding a manufacturing facility. It's about strengthening America's ability to build the critical technologies that make AI possible. Together, these investments reflect a shared belief that the future of AI should be built with resilient supply chains, advanced manufacturing, and the world-class talent that's here in the United States. And there is no better place in the entire world to demonstrate this vision than here in Sherman, Texas. Absolutely. Thank you. We are so proud of this facility because this facility is the world's first, absolutely the world's first, and the largest volume production of 6-inch indium phosphide manufacturing. And that is critical for AI data center, and it serves as one of the leading centers for optical networking innovation here in Sherman. As AI systems grow larger and more powerful, connectivity is just as important as the computing itself. AI runs on compute, but it scales with connectivity. And Sherman is where that connectivity is getting built. So to discuss what comes next, I'm very honored to be joined by one of the leaders that's helping shape not just the future of AI, but the future of next generation data center infrastructure. Please join me in welcoming Jensen Huang, founder and CEO of Nvidia. Jensen.
Mr. Anderson. Here we are in Sherman, Texas.
Beautiful Sherman, Texas.
Founded 1840.
We love this site.
Founded 1846. Did you know that?
Yeah, I learned it just now, I guess.
General Sidney Sherman. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us here today. Look, we've had
Silicon Prairie, I understand.
Yeah, it is. It is now the Photonic Prairie. So we've had a long partnership. I think NVIDIA's been a partner with Coherent and a customer of ours for over 2 decades. Yep. And we expanded that partnership just recently. But Jensen, I wanted to start by just talking about kind of bigger picture, the AI opportunity ahead of us. One of the phrases you've used, and I really like this description of AI, is a new industrial revolution. So when you look at where we are today, how do you think AI is going to reshape industries, economies in the years to come?
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize that the tip of the iceberg for AI today is the AI model. And we see it in the browser. We see it with ChatGPT. It's incredible. It does incredible things. And I use it every day. And that's how I realized that Sherman, Texas was founded in
There you go.
1846. And population almost 50,000.
You got it.
A beautiful lake close by.
That's right.
Wonderful quality of life. And so you learn about these things. But AI is an industrial revolution because in order for AI to be realized, you have to start with the energy sector, the chips, the infrastructure, which is land, power, shell, the cloud services, and then there's the AI models. And even the AI models, there's AI models for languages, there are physical AI models for self-driving cars and robotics. There's AI models for biology and chemistry and for drug discovery. There's AI models for physics so that we could do climate and weather simulation and prediction. And so there's AI models of all kinds.
Yeah.
And then on top of that is the applications, the highest layer, which is the most important part because it's about the application of the technology that you and I are working on inventing. And so the applications of the technology affects financial services and healthcare and education and transportation and chip design and so on and so forth, right? You name it, every single industry, $100 trillion industry. And because intelligence is fundamental, the ability to process information, to reason and problem solve, which is the foundations of intelligence, affects every single industry. This is the ultimate general purpose technology. And so not only are we creating a new industry, this 5-layer cake that I just described, this technology is also going to revolutionize every single industry, which is the reason why this is so exciting. And it's something that we have to do very, very thoughtfully, very carefully, responsibly, but we also want to do it with enthusiasm because bringing productivity to all of those industries, you name it, whether it's in healthcare, who doesn't want to end suffering, pain and suffering? In transportation, who doesn't want to make transportation safer? In the case of manufacturing, who doesn't want us to be able to augment the shortage of labor that we have so that all of the companies can continue to grow?
Yeah.
In energy, why wouldn't we want to take advantage of the opportunity, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to use market forces to upgrade the energy grid, to be able to support and invest in sustainable energy without government subsidies for the very first time, since the beginning of sustainable energy? You name it. If you would like to build a solar plant today, no problem. If you would like to build a nuclear plant today, no problem. All completely market driven.
Yeah.
And so you give your favorite example of energy, and then there will be somebody who would be more than happy to fund it. And so I think that across the board, we're seeing this extraordinary opportunity because of the market forces and the market demand for this technology. Now, what it means for the United States in the near term, and we're at the epicenter of that right here, a perfect example of it, this is the first time in our careers where the number of chip fabs here in the United States is going to grow extraordinarily.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so since we started our careers, the number of chip fabs have been largely declining, except for now. We're building chip fabs, packaging plants, computer plants, manufacturing plants, and as well as, of course, AI data centers, and just energy generation plants everywhere across the United States. We've already, in the last several years, created some 600,000 jobs. And we're going to create a whole bunch of jobs here. And these jobs are manufacturing jobs, and which our country really desperately needs. We need to bring back the builders, the makers, people who want to create this industrial sector for the United States. It's wonderful for our economy. It's going to be wonderful for our communities, and so I think it's just I'm kind of enthusiastic about it.
Oh, that's a great vision.
Yeah.
So let's dig a little bit deeper into what is it going to take, right? Because it's not just computing power, it's not just computing capacity. There's a lot of other infrastructure that needs to get built. The energy grid you mentioned. It's not just the compute, but the connectivity between that compute. So maybe we could talk a little bit about the connectivity.
Well, the thing that we build, everybody knows what a computer is. You all carry one on your phone, and you also carry one in your laptop. But imagine millions of these things connected together, working as one. It's the ultimate, it's called distributed computing. It's the ultimate distributed computing problem. And you take a very, very large computing problem and we call it sharding, you distribute it, you cut it up into chunks, and you shard it across this incredible computer. We call it an AI factory.
Right.
And it's the largest software program the world's ever processed. It is the most computing intensive software program the world's ever processed. And you're trying to run it as fast as you can. You're prompting an AI, and it's got to go off and first of all understand what you just asked it. It might have to go back and do some research, read a whole bunch of documents, and maybe those documents are a whole bunch of PDFs of drug discovery research or various disease research. And it's got to read a whole bunch of PDFs, and PDFs are not easy to read, right. And so it's got to go off and read that. It might decide to go chase down some of the references and go do some research, and then now it becomes an expert in that one topic. And then now it's grounded in the truth. It can go reason about how to solve the problem, how to do the research, or how to answer the question that you gave it. And so it's got to reason about that. It might decide to use tools that are in the laboratory, and that tool could be a robot that's manipulating and it's doing all kinds of different experiments across different proteins and different chemicals, and that robot has to do certain things, and it comes back with measurements that comes back to the computer. And so I just described a autonomous lab that will be the future of drug discovery. And that AI has to think as fast as possible and knows that processing is done on these giant computers.
Yeah.
Well, the chips are the silicon wafers. However, in order for us to connect hundreds of thousands or millions of these processors together, the separation is not in number of feet. The separation is hundreds of feet. Maybe it's thousands of feet.
Right.
And maybe it's even across an entire data center. And so we're trying to connect all these processors together to work as one. Well, the way that you solve that problem, in close proximity, you can use electricity, electrical circuits. However, if you want to connect it far away, the only way to solve that problem is silicon photonics or is optical. And so we take electricity, we activate one of your indium phosphide lasers, and
built here in Sherman.
Built right here, the world's most advanced indium phosphide fab, ladies and gentlemen, and 6-inch wafers. And
that's right.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
And so you apply a little electricity to this laser diode, and miracle happens, right?
Yeah.
And light comes out the other end. That goes down a whole bunch of optics, travels as far as you need it to travel. On the other side of it, you pick up the photons.
Detector. Yep.
Yeah, detectors, and you convert that back to electricity, and that electricity then drives our chips. Now the two chips, or millions of chips, are now communicating with each other. And so the interconnect that is optical, it's pretty fundamental to our ability to scale out to the sizes of computers that we like to do.
And becomes a more important part of the architecture moving forward, right?
So important.
So we announced a partnership between Nvidia and Coherent back in March. We're very grateful for that partnership. That partnership here in Sherman, that means we're going to double the size of the production facility, but we're actually going to quadruple the output of this facility. So how does a partnership like this, how does that factor into your thinking moving forward on the criticality of manufacturing, maybe U.S. manufacturing? How do you think about that moving forward?
Well, we're going to reindustrialize the United States. But we like to industrialize the United States in the area of manufacturing that's the most advanced, has the highest skilled laborers, has the highest paying jobs, produces the greatest value. I mean, this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
And so the type of products that we're creating here is the most advanced in the world, and we had to obviously take advantage of the fact. I mean, if you just think about it for a second. Coherent was started in the 1970s.
Yep, 71.
71. Yep. And so that's another way of saying you've been around a long time.
We have. We have. And we were founded as a manufacturing company in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. So we've always
building lasers.
yeah, well, yeah. So we've always been a manufacturing company.
Yeah. So after all these years, you've gotten good at it, and so
Thank you. Only took us 50 years.
What's that?
It only took us 50 years.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and because it is. And so after 50 years, you're world class at it. And here's the amazing thing: after 50 years, the most advanced indium phosphide fab, 6-inch fab in the world is right here,
Right.
and we're going to, in 1 year's time, quadruple it. That tells you something. It took 50 years to build that 1x. We're going to take it 1 year to build a 4x. Are you guys? The scale up is incredible. That tells you about the incredible demand that we have for accelerated computing, for the computing that we're doing. And it gives us the capacity, if not for the fact that there's such a large market, if not for the fact that the American companies are doing so well, if not for the fact that we have revenues and the growth, how would we be able to support the investments that we're trying to make right here?
Yeah.
And so I think that President Trump's initiatives on pro-energy, without energy, how can we build fabs? How can we build plants? Without energy, how could there be economic growth? If not for the prosperity of the companies and doing so well around the world, exporting around the world so that we can bring back tax revenues, so that we can bring back revenues, how could we invest in manufacturing here locally?
Yeah.
And so how could we create jobs? And so that flywheel is really important to sustain. And I think that it's really great that you acknowledge the support of Secretary Lutnick and President Trump. I think is really terrific.
So Sherman, is a great example of not just expanding U.S. manufacturing capacity, but job creation. This site, when we get to full capacity, it'll support over 1,000 jobs, both direct and indirect. It'll support over 550 direct jobs. Actually, as you drove in, you might have seen it. There's a big "We're hiring" sign, a big coherent. Yeah. So anybody out there that needs a job, there's applications right in the back there. Please,
I applied personally. the quality of life here, according to ChatGPT, the quality of life here is extremely good. That's what I read.
But is a site like Sherman and what we're doing here in Sherman, is this an example
great community,
of
really family oriented? That's what it said.
Is
lake quality life. As we were landing, I saw all kinds of
there's
boats,
lots of lakes.
Lots of boats.
Yeah, this part of Texas.
Yeah, who doesn't want to live here?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
helping you recruit.
You are. I hope somebody's recording this because we're going to play this for new recruits. But is this a proof point of kind of, we're talking about reindustrialization, but like, a new era of industrial growth in the U.S., a new era of manufacturing growth driven by AI. Is this kind of a proof point of that, a marker of the beginning of that?
Jim, in the last call it 100 years, without the automotive industry, what manufacturing did we really do? The United States has been declining in manufacturing for some time, and the computer industry was largely outsourced, and it became really an intellectual property job, right? Information processing job, and over the course of the last 50 years, our economy and our communities have really changed in shape, and we really need to figure out a way to bring back manufacturing. However, how do you fundamentally bring back manufacturing for industries that have existed forever? You and I, we're strategists. CEOs are strategists, and when we think about how do you enter into a new market, how do you drive prosperity, how do you drive growth? Driving growth, you can't go and compete with somebody doing something that they've been doing for 50 or 100 years. And so we need to look for a transition, a phase shift, a new industry that happens where all of a sudden a whole bunch of new skills, a whole bunch of new factories, a whole bunch of new companies that didn't exist before can now exist.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect time for the United States. We are going to re-industrialize the United States in precisely the type of plants that were either unnecessary or not enough in the past. And so if you look at chip plants, the number of chip plants around the world is growing simultaneously everywhere. So the fact that we're growing here in the United States, on the one hand, it doesn't take away from anybody else's growth. they're more than delighted to partner with us and support our growth
Yeah.
here. And so we're bringing chip plants back here. We're bringing packaging plants and computer plants. This is the perfect time to go and invest in reindustrialization. And the type of reindustrialization we're doing is precisely the right type.
So when we, maybe kind of last question, when we think forward 10 years from now, fast forward, 10 years from now, we look back at this time, what do you think people will say about the investment in AI infrastructure, the investment in U.S. manufacturing? I mean, how will we look at this 10 years from now? The beginning of the start?
Well, 10 years from now, you're going to be probably on the boat on one of those lakes enjoying life, and I'll still be working.
This facility may be 10 times larger 10 years from now.
I'll still be working. Yeah. Let's see. 10 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to realize a couple, 2, 3 things, and it's all the things that we've been talking about. One, the pro-energy growth agenda has enabled the United States to grow the economy again. The second thing is I really believe that we are going to look backwards and realize that AI was what made it possible for us to invest in sustainable energy, upgrade our energy grid, bring back and reconstitute a workforce that is essential for social harmony. You can't just have information workers in an economy. You also have to have builders. It should not be the case that the only good jobs you can have are the ones that you get a PhD in computer science. I mean, you should be able to create a great life and build a great family and find a really prosperous job if you want to do something with your hands and build something. And so I think we want a society that is balanced with people who are builders and creators and inventors, and artists and right across the entire spectrum. Yeah. And so I think we have an opportunity this next 10 years to go reshape our communities, reshape our society, and be much more balanced. I think we're just going to have a lot more social harmony as a result of that. And we might, hopefully this gets recorded, we might look back 10 years and say that conversation really kind of stirred it and reminded us that this moment that allows us to reindustrialize the United States not only shaped the economy, but it also not only shaped our technology leadership and our national security, our economy, but also our communities.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Jensen. I want to tell one story about the last event that I was at with Jensen. This was about...
Nothing scares me more.
Let's see, this was about a month ago. You and I were at a small dinner, and I was sitting at the same table as Jensen, and he was sitting to my left, and there was a line of people waiting to get their picture taken with Jensen. No line for me. There's nobody in my line. But a couple people came up and said, can we get a picture? And I was so happy. I thought, God, somebody finally wants a picture with me, right? And they hand me the camera and they say, no, can you get a picture of me with Jensen, right? So I was taking pictures for you. So happy to help. But hey, thanks for being with us.
That's why we're such great partners.
Thank you, Jensen. Yeah. Thank you.
Jim is my connecting fabric. So that he connects me with other people.
Whatever you need. Thank you. Well,
thank you for your partnership. We're doing this because Coherent's a great company. And we're doing this because you're world class at what you do. And we're doing this because the work that you do is vital to our future, vital to the future of artificial intelligence, and quite frankly, vital to reindustrializing of the United States. And so I want to thank all of you for the amazing work that you do. I know that you had to wait about 50 some odd years for this moment, but it was worth it.
All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jensen. So we're going to go outside next and break ground. At the end of the facility is where we're going to be actually expanding the facility. So we'll do a little shovel groundbreaking. But before that, I wanted to ask you if you wouldn't mind signing this beam over here with me. This is a steel beam.
All right.
That'll be used in the construction.
Dated?
Oh, it didn't, did we say it was June 16th?
All right.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your partnership.
All right, I think now
We are going to hold up the whole thing.
yeah, we're not going to be able to do this. But now we'll head outside, we'll walk to the back of the facility, and we'll do a little groundbreaking, okay? All right. All of us. Thank you, everybody.
Please make your way to the exit for the groundbreaking ceremony. Following the ceremony, guests who have signed up for a factory tour, please return inside.